Wood is a natural resource of plant origin that is obtained from the woody part of trees. Its most important chemical compounds at the technological level are lignin and cellulose. Both compounds make up the cell walls of trees, and their main function is to give rigidity to the plant. If we cut a log, in its cross-section, we will find these main parts. Bark. It is the outer layer that gives the tree protection. Cambium. It is the part that permits the growth of the trees. The trees grow through this layer in such a way that the rings closest to the outside are the youngest. Sapwood. It is the young wood, formed a few years ago and still has not reached its maximum strength. Heartwood. It is old wood. It is the strongest part of the tree. And last is the pith. The pith is the central part. We call pieces of wood those that directly come from the trunk of a previously cut down tree and have only undergone a process of cutting and planing. In addition, before its final use, it could also be painted or varnished. In order to obtain wood, the following steps are followed. Chop down and transport the tree trunks to the sawmill. Remove the bark. Chop down the trunk to obtain different sized pieces, primarily strips, boards, planks, slabs, and beams. Drying. The drying consists of eliminating moisture and sap present in the recently chopped wood. Dried wood is stronger and lighter. There are two methods of drying, natural and artificial. Planing. Planing eliminates irregularities, adjusts the measurements, and adds a soft touch finish. Finally, remember that wood can also be varnished or painted. The main types of wood are hard and soft. Hardwoods generally come from species of deciduous and slow-growing trees. They are usually low resinous species with a few but large knots, and in hardwoods there are usually a wide variety of colors. Hardwoods are more resistant and durable than softwoods, but they are also more difficult to cut and drill. As you can see in this picture, softwoods present the opposite characteristics. Examples of hardwoods are chestnut, oak, olive, and caoba. The most common softwoods are pine and fir trees. What are the most important properties of wood? Hygroscopic. The wood can vary its moisture content depending on its environment. For this reason, if it is in a very humid environment, it can swell. Anisotropic. The mechanical properties like resistance and flexibility depend on the direction of force in relation to the direction of the wood grain. When we apply a force in the same direction of the grain, the wood is more flexible and resistant than when we apply it in the opposite direction. Increased mechanical resistance. Wood is used in the construction of structures such as houses or bridges. Thermal expansion. Its length can vary with the outside temperature. With the heat, it expands in size, and with the cold, its size decreases. Thermal insulation. Wood is widely used in the construction of houses as it prevents heat from escaping to the outside. Electric insulation. Dried wood has a highly elevated electrical resistance in which an electrical current cannot pass through. Sound conductor. For this reason, many musical instruments are made out of wood. And lastly, we will say that wood is a recyclable, biodegradable, and renewable product. As long as we make a rational use of it, wood is also a sustainable resource. How can we identify wood that comes from sustainable logging? There are many private companies that certify sustainable farming. If a farm is sustainable, it will be awarded a characteristic seal. The most common seals in Spain are these. In your country, what are the most important seals that certify the sustainable origin of wood? What is plywood or artificial wood? We call plywood the pieces of wood that are made of the remains of chopped wood and glued together through resins. The remains of lumber are chopped into pieces until shavings or fibers are obtained, which are later mixed with glue. The mixture of glue and wood is passed through large rollers where pressure and heat are applied to get all of the components together. In this way, we can get pieces of larger, more economical sizes since they are made from the remains of wood. On the other hand, the use of pieces of plywood reduces the cutting of trees. We are going to study 6 types of boards of artificial wood: plywoods, laminates, OSB, or oriented strand board, particle board or fiber board, MDF, medium density fiber board, and HDF, high density fiber board. Plywood boards. They are formed by very thin sheets of wood. These sheets are put together between themselves through the application of heat and pressure. The most important thing about these boards is that the vanes of the 2 consecutive sheets are perpendicular to each other. In this way, we get rigid and inflexible boards. Laminate boards. They are very similar to the previous boards. They are formed by various thin sheets of wood, but in this case, the vanes of each sheet are placed parallel to each other. In this way, we get very flexible pieces of wood. OSB, or oriented strand boards. These boards are made with large chips of wood, which have great length and little thickness. They are put together with synthetic glues and are pressed at high temperatures. They are inexpensive boards. Particle boards and fiber boards. They are made through smaller and finer shavings than in the previous case. They are mixed with glue and lastly pressed together with heat. It is a cheap wood and easy to cut. It's broken relatively easily and is very sensitive to changes in temperature and humidity. Medium density fiberboard, or MDF. It is manufactured from very reduced wood fibers, practically dust, which are mixed together with synthetic glues. They have a fine, uniform, and homogeneous texture. Its faces and edges have a perfect edge. It is a hard and difficult material to work with. High density fiberboard. It is known with the initials HDF. The manufacturing process is similar to medium density fiberboards. The difference is that in these boards a higher pressure is applied than in the case of MDF. For this reason, the final result is a more compact and highly dense board. They are usually made with thin thickness and are mainly used as the backsides of furniture and drawer bottoms.